Ladies and gentlemen, the long awaited, highly anticipated quarterfinal of Missouri State High School girls soccer is on the air. I am here with unbelievable telephone calls, letters, texts about the great Sarah Guntner, a.k.a. Coach Guns, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here as always.
Yes, top of the morning to you. And we get things done early in the morning, and so that we have the rest of the day to know how to adapt and change and ba ba boom, ba ba bang. We get our chemistry in order.
That's correct. That's what you got to do. You got to get it done early so you can do all that business.
There you go. Yeah. And Coach Guns, besides you being a number one top shelf soccer IQ, you're a full-fledged chemistry high school teacher at the Oakville High School.
Yes, I am. I am a science nerd. That's a little better of a description. But I taught chem. I teach nat phys. I taught bio, physics, all the above. Whatever you need, I'll teach it.
All
in
right.
soccer.
All right then.
Right.
Plus being a magnificent mother to your little basketball Jones.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. He's getting it on. He won the Larry Hughes 3-on-3 or something like that.
Yeah. They just won it 2 times in a row.
Whoa!
I know. Yeah, they're really doing well.
All right
That's
then.
pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Now, under full disclosure, you haven't received any rock concert tickets or anything from anybody about how you're just giving your opinion on the high school class setups. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
That's correct.
And we have friends in the business, and we're not demeaning nobody, right?
No, absolutely not.
All right. And now, they gave me a weekend away, but we won't talk about that. All right. But here it is, man. It's birds chirping, and it's springtime in old St. Louis and the Missouri, and here we are, Class 1 quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Now it's being, I don't know which place they're playing, but what we have here, Class 1, for full disclosure, far as how does one become Class 1? Because of the attendance that they have?
I think, originally, how that all started was attendance-based primarily. And then, as you know, we've kind of evolved, as we said we would do today, and adapt. It changed. Instead of it just being attendance-based, there was more that went into what the classes would be, with your record, historical record, and, just things like that were factored in to make it a little bit more just even,
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what Wales Certified has strive to do is to be entertaining plus informative. So, say for instance, you're talking Blair Oaks High School. well, somebody may not know, but we know where Blair Oaks is, don't we? It's it's around Jefferson City.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and they're playing Smithtown now.
And
In
I
your
think that's around Smithtown, isn't it?
the,
Isn't that where that's at?
where's that?
I think it's around Smithtown.
Unbelievable, overstating the obvious, but you being a real hunter, an outdoors woman. I mean,
That's
you,
correct.
yeah, I mean, you, it's official that you know how to hunt and fish, and
Oh
that
yeah.
and that you take care of your business when you're out there. You clean up after yourself and make it better than when you got there. I mean, you really do the
Of
invite.
course.
Yeah, yeah. So hats off to you on that one. But they are playing now. They don't play because there's only four teams left in Class One. They don't play until June 6th. So
Right.
they're
So they
work
go straight to the final four, basically.
exactly. And so here it is. They're playing two games, man. That
Yep.
yeah,
2 games to state. I always tell my girls when postseason starts, I go 6 games to state,
right,
6 games to the championship.
right. And
So
there
they
you
just have a little bit shorter of a run
yes,
at class one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, I mean, they're not kidding. And Ellsbury combined with Silex,
Okay.
yeah, and then Barstow out at I believe Barstow is in the Branson or the
Mhm.
Silver Dollar Branson area. No, they're not. No, they're not. Branson is like in Kansas City, I think.
No, Branson's down in Springfield, near Springfield,
No, yeah. Oh no,
southwest.
yeah. Let's. We're gonna. That's why we need a producer here at Whale Certified. So, so I had it down. Well, anyway, so they're playing, and they're not kidding around when they say, "Hey, we're gonna play some ball." Uh, Ellsbury Silex is 16-2. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, and so that's a reputable. Blair Oaks is 15-7. You know, so
Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So they're coming around. They're not taking shy, and that's what I
No.
I love about the game of soccer. And I know it's subjective, guns, but what do you feel like? You say, okay, I'm class one, but listen, we know how to play, and we have good technique and tactics. Game on to any
Yeah.
class four, anybody, anywhere.
Right. No, I think everybody in their own right, and that's the thing. You have to think of the difference. I mean, the school that I teach and coach at has 2,000 people that I can make a team with. Well, there's not because there's boys there too, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot more, people that, and not only that, there's a lot more, kids that go and play club teams and do all that stuff. So, it's just, that's also going to be factored into the difference of these classes because some of those towns, Smithville and Barton and all those, they don't have those capabilities of they might have a school of 300 people and then that's just everybody. So you're going to think how many of those people are playing soccer and then are they even able to play club ball? And so it's like we still want to see the those teams be able to go on and have fun, seasons and things, in their own class. And so it's awesome to see them playing against, teams down there having great records, as you said, the 16-2, and that's amazing. So they're doing well even without all the numbers that some of these other schools have in these other classes.
Yeah, and
So
they have ties in soccer, and
yeah,
the thing is to win double figures, you have to do something, man. I mean, it just doesn't come.
oh yeah.
I mean,
I always say, like for me as a coach, I always want to get to at least 10 wins. If in this season I can make it to 10 wins, if we can get 10 wins, then typically you're going to have at least a 500 season. Because if you think about, you play about 20 plus games, depending on, this year we had the Champions League, and, we were guaranteed the 3 games, but then it was like, if you won that, you got more games added. And, like I was in a tournament this year and we were guaranteed 3 games. So it's like every year it's about 22, 25-ish games that we'll play. And if I can win 10 of those at least, it's like, about half of this, you're getting about half of your schedule is wins. And so I always try to strive for that. So like any team that's beyond 10 wins, they're doing a really good job, and they're a winning team, to say, for the most part. So, I mean, and some schools are different. I mean, there's some schools that maybe had 15 games that they played this whole season. They just don't play as many games as other people. But some teams like play the max,
yeah.
So.
And do you know those figures? Do you know the max at Missouri?
The max is, I believe, we can have 20 regular season games.
All right.
And then 2 tournaments.
Okay. Sorry to put you under the gun.
Yeah.
Guns.
No, it's something around there. I mean, it might be off by 1 or 2 games, but it's around that. It's like 20 regular season games, and then you can have 2 tournaments.
There you go. And the story goes is that, ladies and gentlemen, we need a producer.
Right.
Yeah. Inquiry and whale whale.
Yeah.
Somehow dropping a line.
Right.
So here we are. We're in class 2 now. Now we got St. Vincent playing St. Charles. Now St. Vincent is a Catholic school in Perryville, Missouri.
Yeah.
And if you ever go to Perryville, that's a pretty nice place, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a really nice town. Big town, very prideful town, yeah.
Yeah. And they're playing St. Charles and geez, you go across that river, some school district is going to get you. I mean,
right.
Yeah, boy. I mean, they carve it up pretty nicely over there.
Oh, yeah. All of St. Charles County is really exploding.
Yes.
I mean, with all sports, but especially soccer. I mean, every team past the river is just a very solid team.
Yeah. Because they kind of play soccer all year round.
Oh, yeah. They got their own clubs out there. And
yeah.
A lot of people are moving out of St. Louis County and going out there.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a booming area. That's for sure. I just lived in Cottleville, and I mean, I saw what happened in Cottleville. It was like crazy overnight. Just got
wow. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And it's fun. It's a fun town.
Yeah, for an outdoors woman like yourself, you look out the we got neighbors. We got to go. I always lived out when with telephones, with their party lines. Mrs. Johnson, can you get off the line? I gotta make a call. or hey, simmer down over there. I heard everything you were laughing at. I said, oh, Jackie Gleason was on. It was wonderful. Yeah. So here we go. They played the winner of Logan Rogersville and Southern Boone. Now, Southern Boone, I know, is in central Missouri somewhere.
Yeah.
And then,
That's near Columbia.
yeah, yeah. And then the Logan, I'm thinking, I'm stretching it out. They're the Raccoon County of the United States of America. You get
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you go to Logan Rogersville, you'd be a good chance of seeing a raccoon. You say, what the hell is that?
Sure of it.
That's
Well,
my
raccoons
pet.
can really live anywhere. They're very resilient animals.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my pet. Yeah. So there it is. They're playing. And, there could be, like they could be setting generation, a lot of farm folks.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And so all kinds of stories with this. How in the hell do they play soccer? Well, it's kind of affordable and
Yeah,
and it's kind of easy to get together. And, the tactics are easily explained and you just get out there and practice. And
yeah.
yeah, so it makes for some great stuff. Now, here we go. We know about these two, don't we, Coach Guns? Archford Farms and Clayton High School.
Oh yeah, that's a matchup. That's a good matchup.
I mean, hey, you look at that, at one of the most just right in the gut, and I had to take it. I was out, I won't name the school, but the two coaches didn't know that I was a coach on the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, well, we're playing for the state championship. Yeah, and the one guy, said it, so boldly he could care less but the other guy was thinking, hey man, I don't know who that guy is, but you shouldn't have said that. And lo and behold, when I was in the greeting line after the game, the guy like, oh my God, you were the
Yeah.
guy.
You were the guy. I was talking.
Yeah, but for those,
Karma.
yes, but for those two schools to think whoever wins that game wins the state championship in Class 2, they better, take a back seat and get some psychological help because they got some way to go.
A little humble pie. Be served a little humble pie.
Yes, there you go. There you go, Guns. Yeah.
That's what I tell my kid. And he's Mr. Hoop baller basketball player. And he's been getting pretty little bit confident there. And I'm like, yeah, you need to have a little bit of humble pie. And he's like, what's that, Mom?
Yeah, man. And I guarantee, man, that rock and roll band, Humble Pie, they were unbelievable, man. You talking about some strumming a guitar.
Yeah.
So here we go of Pleasant Hill versus Kirksville. I mean, I don't know nothing from Kirksville back in the day. Now they're coming back. Nice. They're always at the weather report or, they had a college up there, Northeast Missouri State, I think.
Truman is what it was called, or is called now, or maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And Pleasant Hill, that's got a nice name to it. Soccer play for.
Sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's in the valley. I'm just joking.
Oh wow. All right then. All right. So, well, you got me on that one. Okay.
Well, it's a hill, Pleasant Hill. I'm just being silly.
Oh. All right. All right.
Well, early morning jokes.
All right. Oh, is it any relation to Boone's Farm?
Boone's Farm wine?
Forget about it. All
Right.
right,
Let's
all
get
right,
it up.
all right. So here we are. We're moving on into class 3. Now, you think you got, your soccer, you know how to do the X's and O's and the Marys and the Janes, and you come up to try to decide this. Let me roll it in. I'm on the laptop, and so here we are. Notre Dame. Now in French, Notre Dame means Our Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Cape Girardeau
Yeah.
is playing St. Joseph's Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Guns, I want you to know that I know that you know. I hope you have this similar, even better career than that Maureen McVeigh out there at St. Joseph's
Oh
Academy.
God,
All right? Yeah.
that would be a wish of mine for sure. Maureen has had a phenomenal, I mean, the best female career in the state of Missouri, if not the Midwest, if not one of the main ones in the country.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. And
she's unbelievable.
yeah, and take a moment with me, Guns, for Wales Certified to give old the Irish gal a little applause.
Yeah, mad respect.
And so her and her Angels are playing down there, you know, and
Yeah,
yeah, and I
it'll be a
don't
good
know.
game. I mean, St. Joe's always a powerhouse, but Cape Notre Dame, we've played them. We didn't play them last year, but we played them the years before, and they're a pretty tough team. So I mean, it'll be and if it's down in Cape, they're very prideful down there, and it'll you never know. So I mean, it should be a pretty good one, pretty
Yeah,
good matchup.
under full disclosure, that was the school. That was the coach. I mean, they're very well coached, and
Yeah,
their fan base is, hey, you're not gonna leave here winning again. you know, I mean they, you know, and playing St. Joe's, hey, I don't think you can buy a win here. I mean,
right. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So that's a real hard nose. Now they are going to play the winner of Elias Catholic out of Jefferson City with Springfield Catholic. Now, how
and that's
about
the
that?
powerhouse.
Yeah, how about that? When I first my first state championship as a coach, I was on a bench after them, and they had won state. And I told the coach, "Oh, sorry, getting everything together to move on." And
Hmm.
he was all smiles. Oh yeah, don't worry. I said, "This is the place. This is the bench to play on." He said, "Good luck, Mayor." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, something like that you never forget.
No.
But Elias Catholic, Wales Certified, talked to the coach. So if you're on Wales Certified, whatever platform you got, scroll down and hook onto that. He's a very good, nice coach, and they have an area, culture, community. So
Yeah.
now we go into John Burroughs School at Fort Zumwalt South. Holy moly,
Yeah.
you spend all day trying to decide the winner of those two.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Both,
that's going to be a really, really good matchup.
yeah. And, you know, I don't know if they're going to play, at one of those schools or a neutral site or whatever. But I mean, John Burroughs, they don't have to take a back seat to nobody with that grass field they have, huh?
Right. And actually, I could hold on my laptop now. I could pull up where they're going to be playing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, wherever. But it definitely, if John Burroughs is on the top of the bracket, they'll play at their grass field. Let's see here. So yeah, let's go to.
Well, Fort Zumwalt South, they have when they got a nice big field, but it's
Mhm.
you feel electricity when you pull in the parking lot to when you go out to the Bulldogs at Fort Zumwalt South, and
Right.
their fan base don't have to take a back seat to anybody, anywhere, anyhow. So
No.
that's going to be both well coached and there's just going to be a
Yeah, that's going to
magnificent.
be a good one.
Yeah.
John Burroughs is on top of the bracket, so it should be at their site.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's what that means when I'm looking at the brackets
Yeah.
on Misha, the top.
Yep.
Okay.
For quarterfinals, whoever's on top of the bracket, and it might even be in certain years. It's like even years, odd years.
Okay.
Whoever's on top of the bracket gets to play at their home site.
Okay. So they're
But
going.
if Cape Notre Dame is the one that St. Joe's is going to, they're on top of the bracket. So that makes me believe that anyone on top of the bracket this year, since it's an odd year, is playing at their home site. So yeah, so Cape Notre Dame hosts, Helias hosts, John Burroughs hosts, and Notre Dame de Sion hosts on the other side of that
That's how.
bracket.
That's how you get it all together. There's a formula. It's just beautiful, and we're
It
gonna.
changes a lot, so it keeps you on your toes. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure from reading all the rule changes and all the stuff this past year
Well,
but that's not something that's changed. That was just something that's always been a deal.
you have explained that professionally, and that's why I pleaded with you to come on. And but and we've done a couple podcasts, so we're like a duet.
Oh, I know, yeah. And we
Uh,
even basically, the whole Champions League championship game, we had commentary of the whole game.
Here you go. There you go. We've never done this before. So
Yeah.
so here we are. Our Lady of Zion in Kansas City, Notre Dame
Hmm.
Zion, is playing the other Kansas City team, St. Pius X, out of KC. Now that
Hmm.
are you familiar with any of those teams?
Um, St. Pius X and KC has been a pretty good powerhouse in that class for the past few years. So, yeah, so that should be, I would say a pretty good matchup there between those two Kansas City teams. They've both been, I've noticed St. Pius X more than I've noticed Notre Dame de Sion making it that far. But yeah, so they're both going to be a team to beat, that's for sure.
There you go. Now we move on to the, and I want to say I I had hoped that we wouldn't have done this because you would be playing. And so in class four, you got Corey Yezu playing Ursuline Academy.
Mhm.
Now, they had Ursuline Academy had, an up and down season type of thing, and they really came on strong.
I
All
mean, I'm going to tell you right now, Ursuline is a force. Um, Glenn has really done great things with that team this year. When we played them, I will tell you, it was one of our best games that we've played. It was at home. We were winning the entire match. They came back at the very end to tie it up to go into overtime, and we had a plague of injuries this year, so it was just when we would run out of gas, it would just be a completely different team. But we were at that point of running out of gas, and they have a couple really nice players and just a very good team and work ethic, and really great goalkeeper. And we went into OT, and it was a battle like OTs always are, and they ended up scoring on us with like 2 minutes left in the game. So it was kind of a heartbreaker because, you never want to be winning a game, then the team comes back, and then they beat you in overtime. And so it was kind of like a crushing moment. But I will tell you, I mean, they're a class act, and I think they're going to give Coriezu a run for their money. I mean,
The-
we all know about Coriezu. I'm sure we could sit here and talk about them even more, but I think Ursuline is a force, and I think that's gonna be a really good game.
Red is the color when you're at
Red
that
is the
game.
color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
red and white
red
for
is the
both
color.
teams. Yeah, for the Bears of Ursuline and the Chargers of Coriezu, and they're playing at Coriezu. They're
Yeah,
gonna play it on, man. They're gonna. It's real nice when you go. You see that big field with the field hockey and everything on Gravois at the school,
yeah,
but their soccer field is in the back and a big parking lot, and you get out and you walk, and there's really it's down in that hole type of thing
yeah, yeah.
with fresh grass, and then they got a scoreboard and a big hill on the other side. I don't know how they get over there if they walk around, whatever, but the benches are on the other side, and you're there pretty close. So
Right. You're right on the field.
yeah. So Ursula and Coriezu parents, because most of them probably went there and played for those schools, and now their daughters go there. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's going to be. I mean, it's a drag out. That's what high school soccer is about. With those two coming up to head.
yeah. That'll be a really good match.
Yeah. So here we go. We're playing Nixa and Blue Springs South.
Yeah, that's a huge game.
Now, Nixa was 20-2. You
Yeah.
know, just on a full disclosure, we have Coriezu is 19-1, but anyway, they at Nixa. That's Nixa,
They're down
Missouri.
south of Spring. They're down past Springfield.
That's right.
Yeah, they are a good team. They are going to be a team to reckon with in Class 4 for sure. They've been really just. I think their program's just been getting better every year. But this year they've been. I've just heard great things about them. And Blue Springs South is always a powerhouse out of Kansas City. So
Yeah,
that's
you
going to be a
go.
really good matchup.
Yeah, and the Blue Springs South. They're all I know is that we're on some way on a highway where I was going, and I said, "Oh, that's Blue
Yeah,
Springs," and they're
probably
at
Highway 70.
there. You go, and they're 19-2, and they got a soccer tradition for sure, man. You
Oh
know,
yeah, state used to be played there at the
well,
facility.
well there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and they were. I played a state game there, and the story was we had to work out, and they had
Yeah.
a host parent helping out, and she had her little boy there, and we went into the gym and worked out, and I was
Hmm.
working out the goalkeepers and everything, and I said, "Kid, you can always say that you were there when the and watch the state champion work out."
little bit of humble pie right there. You're serving
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just confident. That
There,
ain't
there you go.
confident. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
a
the last
difference.
game. You know what I
There's a
mean?
difference.
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So you say, hey, man, because that was really something. when you have a team just saying, "Don't worry, we're gonna win, man. We're gonna win. Yes, we're gonna win."
Well,
I
yeah, no,
mean,
I agree. You need to have a mantra, and
yeah,
the more that you believe in yourself and you believe that you're going to win, the probability you're going to win is going to be a lot higher than if you don't believe in yourself. Um,
that's
yeah.
why you're on the air. That's why you're on the air, Coach Gus. That's scientific.
It's totally scientific.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we're getting into some old school here. St. Dominic playing Lafayette High School.
Oh yeah, that is a matchup. That's going to be a matchup. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they
a good
don't.
one.
Wow. I mean,
I know.
there's history there. There's right up in now. Uh, those two well coached. Uh, they had this and that for the season, but they start winning at the end to know what they're doing. And
Well, see, that's the thing with those two teams that kind of makes it a little different. If you think about some of the teams that we're seeing in postseason, like if you look at the one, we just analyzed in Class 3, all of those teams, there was no, like, they were all powerhouses. They all maybe lost one or two matches. They should be in postseason. They should be in the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? Like, those were teams that probably in their area were, the probable ones that were going to make it to state. Now, Dominic, Lafayette, those historically have been teams that make it to state, win state championships. They're just always been great teams. This season, both of those schools, Lafayette, probably more than Dominic this year, had kind of more of an up and down season that they've seen in the past. But each one of those teams, because of so many variables, a lot to do with their coaching and just their pride and all the things, they know how to get it done in postseason. There's just something about some teams. You could have a 500 record in regular season, but when it comes to that postseason play, those teams just know how to do it. They know how to be clutch. Their coaches know how to, get those kids ready and prepared to win when you need to win. When if you don't win, your season's over. And it's like the mentality to develop that mentality and to be able to coach that mentality and be consistent with that every year is just, it's unbelievable. And I mean, Ryan does such a good job, at Lafayette, and he's always such a good clutch coach when it comes to postseason. I mean, them beating Marquette the other night, Marquette was top of the conference, and probably were the ones that were going into this game, should be winning. And, Ryan just finds a way, and he's good at being clutch in postseason. Same thing with Craig over there at St. Dominic. I mean, it's like they just know how to rally their kids. They know how to tell them, and get them prepared for big games and be successful in these big games. So I think that's going to be a great matchup. I think that's going to be a really good game, and it'll be fun to see who makes it out of that.
there you have it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be playing the winner of Lee Summit West at Lee Summit West with Liberty North High School.
Yeah.
Now they're the reigning. No, 2 years ago they were the reigning champs. Yes,
2 years ago. Yeah.
yeah, and so I was in Liberty High School in this area out in Wentzville, and then I said, "What the Liberty North?"
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
They're a really good powerhouse. They're probably the biggest powerhouse right now in Kansas City, Liberty North.
there you go.
So this is a great. I mean, this bracket, Class 4. I mean, Class 3 too. All of them. But there's just some games. I mean, it is going to be anyone's ball game here coming up, and that's what makes postseason so fun, and exciting to see
Yes,
who's made it through to this point, and and who was clutch, and
yes.
we see it in front of us now, and so it'll be a fun week to see what comes out of this.
Now, your experience being in it hearing about it, whatever. Are you there?
I'm here. I lose ya? You hear me?
Are you there?
I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Well, this
I
is
don't know.
it's about the goofiest thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Huh.
Can you hear me?
Well, oh, I know what it was. My headset went out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, see, that's why we need that. Who do we need? We need that producer.
We need that producer. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. After all that's done, we're coming out to the big time of you got 5 minutes for me and everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So here it is. When you're playing, they're playing Saturday. All these teams are playing Saturday.
Hmm.
And you know, you made the quarterfinals, okay, you won the hard district, but to get to the final four, that's all. What they're playing is one game, and if they go to the final four, they're guaranteed two games because they play for the championship or the third and fourth place. You know,
Right. Hmm.
I've been associated with mostly all of it. I've lost in district, I won district, lost in uh, the quarterfinal, uh, lost in the semifinal state, won, and then lost in the final. And I'm telling you, any it, if you make it, I mean, there's you made it. I mean, it's nothing like winning. I'll guarantee you that. But you say, hey, I mean, the season's really something. And even when you don't win that district, that season is a season for a reason. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine going through a season without thinking you were the best team. You got bad luck came upon. I don't know what it's like to know. Listen, we're playing 20 games. We're not going to win any of them, you know. But
No. Yeah.
but you always look at those records. You say they're by one goal, and got lucky. You could a 16 and 9 season can really change over quickly. You know,
Yeah.
if you win, your record. So records but the just the pure enjoyment of being together. That's to me, that's priceless. What are some of your thoughts about the season?
You know, with when you analyze a season, you say, okay, what did we do in regular season? I always tell the girls, I'm like, we basically have two seasons within our season. We've got our regular season and then we have our postseason. And I always say, the regular season is for us to get to know each other. It's for us to learn who we are this year because we all know in high school ball, every year is different. It doesn't matter if you didn't graduate anybody and you're only going to maybe take two more new rookies on the team. You could have a completely different group of players the next season than you did before. I mean, it is a huge difference between, say, a freshman level player that you brought up to varsity, and then when they're a sophomore, they could be a completely different person. They could be a completely different player. They could have, a love triangle with a senior and then not get along, and then you have this, thing going on. And so high school ball is just such a completely different entity. And so the regular season is for you to get to know your team, for the teammates to get to know each other, for you to figure out who is your starting 11 when you go into that postseason play. And so, like, when we're preparing for postseason and going through the regular season, that's when you should be moving players around. That's when you should be, making, changes to your formation. That's when you should be, are we going to be a direct team? Are we going to be a possession style team? Are we going to use a long throw in? Are we going to have two goalkeepers that we use? Are we only going to have one that comes in? There's so many things, but that's when you use that time to prepare yourself for the postseason. And then the postseason starts, it's a blank canvas. Like I said, 6 games to win state. 6 games to win state. And it doesn't matter what your record is at that point. Everyone has a nice, fresh Bob Ross blank canvas that they start. And that's what makes it so exciting, because then you get to say, all right, well, what did I learn from this regular season play about this team? Who is going to be my starting 11? What style are we playing? What is our formation? Who's going to be in the box as our keeper? And and then that's when you hope that those things that you learned about your team come out and shine in the postseason. And if they do, then it's amazing. And you did a great job of analyzing that. And yes, can there be some luck in those wins? Absolutely. There always can be. And any, when that whistle blows, you could be a team that has 18 shots on goal. You've hit the crossbar 45 times. Their keeper that day should be on Sports Center. And then they get one breakaway and score it, and they, end up winning the game. And we've all had those matches happen. And it's like, so luck was just not on your side that day. And you probably were the better team, but that's just not what the end result was. And so that's just why we all love this sport, because it's anyone's ball game anytime you get out on that pitch. But the regular season is to prepare, and the postseason is to be clutch. And when it comes to this game that's happening on Saturday, this is the game for basically, like you said, for all the marbles. Like, if you win this match, then you get to go on to state. And regardless what happens beyond that, I mean, if you make third, fourth, second, first, whatever it is, your outcome, being able to be in the Final Four is prestigious in itself. So this has always been that, like, middle ground game where it's a tough one. I mean, winning districts is tough in itself. I mean, that is huge too. But winning the quarterfinals, that gets you that ticket. That gives you that golden ticket to be in the Final Four, to go to state. And it's such a fun thing to experience. So I wish the best of luck for all of these teams, and they're all very deserving to be where they're at.
Well, Guns, there's not a dry eye on the Whale Certified Network. I'll guarantee that. I mean, wow. I mean, spoken like a true soccer aficionado, I mean, you really say it all. And, well, that's why Whale Certified has you on. That's why you're Whale Certified all day long.
Well, thanks, Wales. I enjoy being on here anytime.
All right, then. So we'll see if it's better when we get our producer on. But but we get by, don't we? Okay.
We get by. We make it work.
Yes, right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have it. Oh, yeah, P.S. Please, I beg of you, Coach Gunn, Sarah Gutner, please tell us how people can watch the games on stream.
Let's see. With these matches, I believe the quarterfinal matches, each site, I'm sure, has their own live streaming at this point. I'm not sure if at the quarterfinal match, Misha will take over and you can watch it on Misha's streaming site. I don't know if that's until state. But anymore, most of these sites, like, Coriezi's hosting, Nick is hosting, Dominant's hosting, Lee Summit West, they should all have their own streaming sites. If you just go to their YouTube, and just search their streaming, I'm sure it will pop up. And if not, Misha, you can go to Misha's website and also stream it live from Misha's site. So.
And for the novice, MSHSAA is Missouri State Soccer High School Association.
Yeah.
What's the letters? MC.
Athletic Association. Yeah.
Yeah,
Missouri State High School Athletic Association.
okay, so can you tell us one more time? I'm a backseat. I was one school, a one room school guy. MS Missouri State
Yeah, MSH and
HA.
then SAA. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, all right, we have that all taken care of. Now, you've done you were outstanding at entertainment. No finer around, and you had some great jokes, and you are very informative. And so, thank you, Guns, for and the best. And so you know that I know that you know I'm Waza. We W
Where? Yeah.
Ways, okay?
Yeah.
WAOS. We are Oakville Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do a great job over there, and congratulations to your Tigers, and fine season, and they're gonna look back on this season with a endearment. Having known you, played as a player for you, and as just being a soccer person. I mean, I can't imagine a soccer person not liking you, Guns.
Well, thank you, Wales, and I really appreciate everything. Always being on here is fun, and it was a fun season, and I'm excited to see who makes it to state.
Right on. So we'll be in touch, and ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know we're in need of a producer here, but we are whale certified, and you too can be whale certified if you try. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Goodbye, Sarah. Have a great day.
Goodbye. You too.